Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy, HamzaConnection, coming at you live with the Journey podcast. Well, today I experienced something a little bit sad, and that was my friend just got fired. And that totally broke my sense of security. And let me just give you some context. Basically, my friend got fired after his 3 months trial period, and I didn't see it coming. It's like, to some degree, I would be like, if they fired him before the 3 month period, I would see that coming because he lacked some skill. But the company decided to continue beyond the 3 month period. And just to give you guys some context, here in Denmark, you have a 3 month period where the company can decide to fire you or continue with you. And basically, it passed the 3 month period, and then afterwards they fired him. And that was not something I expected, because I remember once I passed my 3 month period, I felt like, oh, I now have the job. So I started assuming that I have the job. And I still have my job. But that sort of thing broke my sense of security. And that made me realize also that I'm not saying that you should be negative. In fact, I have a podcast episode titled Reframing for Positivity. You should go check that out. That's a good episode. But I digress. This one is more about preparing for bad things to happen, because bad things will happen. And I'm not saying that you guys should be all negative about it and be like, fuck, I'm gonna lose my job, they're gonna fire me tomorrow and all of that stuff. But I'm just saying, when times are good, you prepare for things such as that. Because sometimes you don't see it coming. Sometimes you don't see it coming. I don't think he saw it coming. And in fact, I talked with him afterwards. It was actually today that he got fired. And I talked to him afterwards, and he didn't see it coming. And to be honest, when I think about it now, it makes sense. But to some degree, I'm also like, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? I would probably, if it were, it would probably been, how do you say it? It would probably been best to have fired him in the first place, before the 3 months. But I would say, and this is where it's tricky, because it would have made sense for the company to fire him there. But it seemed like they gave the signal that they wanted to invest in him. So they kept him beyond the 3 months period. And I would be like, if the company gave me the signal that they would invest in me, I would feel more secure. I would feel secure, like totally secure. Like I'm feeling, for instance, right now, or before this happened, that I'm secure. I got my job and all of that stuff. But actually, no. Now I'm not that quite sure. Because things in situation can change so that, they changed their mind. Because they obviously changed their mind, because it looked like they wanted to invest in the guy, even though he lacked some things. They wanted to invest in him, so that's why they kept him. But now they changed their mind, and they're like, no, we're not going to invest in him. We're not going to keep him. Let's invest in something else. Where I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. So we're going to invest in something else now. And they just changed their mind. And those are factors that it's hard to predict. It's really hard to predict. To see like, oh wait, they're like, no, we're going to change our minds. Because you would think that they're giving you the signal that they wouldn't change your minds if they kept you for more. But they did. And that's the kind of thing that made me feel now that, hey, I feel like, okay, right now, I feel like, hey, it's cool. I just can't rely on it being cool forever. So right now, it's cool, but I can't rely on it being cool forever. Even though with the signals that you're seeing that, hey, people want to continue with it, people want to do this with you, you can't rely 100%. And I'm not saying you should be super cynical about everything, don't take it wrong. What I'm advocating is balance. But the thing here is, it's unbalanced to be super, super like, okay, this is never going to go away and all of that stuff. And I'm relying totally on putting all of that and it's never gonna like stop. Unless you're willing to take the consequences, then you can go ahead and do that stuff. If you're willing to take the consequences, then you can go ahead and do that stuff. But what I'm saying is when you're not willing to take the consequences, you want to sort of protect yourself a little bit. And that's the lesson that I learned from this, that don't stay alert at the top. Stay alert when you feel like things are going good. Because you may blindside yourself when things are going good, and then some rainy day comes by and you're like, fuck. Because you didn't prepare for it. And that is super, super important. I guess that's why they say that you should have a backup for yourself in case something happens. So, there goes that job security. And I'm not talking down on jobs and all of that stuff just because I'm working. I do have a job myself, but I also see myself as an entrepreneur because of the past businesses that I have started and stuff like that. And some of them I'm still doing now on the side while I'm having the job. But basically, this is not me shitting on job security and all of that stuff. This is more me being like, for myself as a reminder as well, because this shit really reminded me. When things are good, don't take it for granted, but don't also get complacent. That's what I will leave you guys here. But watch some of my other podcasts if you like this episode, and hit the like button. And if you have some constructive feedback, go ahead and comment down below. Take care. Peace.